How are we all doing tonight? That's a cracking act. Big applause for who we've had already, because now we've actually great people up so far. So tonight I'm doing some stand-up, because that's what I thought the world needed more of, another white guy doing comedy. To start off, I say I'm from Glasgow, right, but those who are actually from Glasgow know I'm lying, because the truth's quite depressing. I'm from a shitty wee village called Neilston. Now, Neilston, yeah. Remember that shit place? So Neilston, it's just a shit thing, it's a shit village, right? And I hated growing up there. Mainly, one aspect of it was voted the nicest place to live in all the UK the same week there was a revenge killing. And there's nothing quite like knowing both the kids' dads who killed each other because you sat beside them both. And it's quite interesting when it gets to the point of both your mum and the school briefs you on what not to talk about at that table for the day. It especially into head, my mum took me aside and went, "Son, I love you, but you've got a heap full of magic." And that's not something that's affected me for the rest of my life at all. And I want to say that's the defining feature, that's my weird thing that happened to me. I've lived quite a bizarre life. For instance, I've been held at gunpoint on 5 separate occasions. And it's not like I've gone looking to get shot or anything, it just tends to happen. And so, the one that's most memorable to me is the time I was crossing from Vietnam to Cambodia, and I wasn't smuggling drugs, I was smuggling people. And I give him over the passport, and the guy looks at it, and he looks up at me and screams. Now, I don't care what anyone says, anyone who screams at you in Vietnamese, it's just a terrifying experience. And the 2 guys beside me have been quite docile at this point, both just pointed their AK-47s at me. And you find out a lot about yourself in those moments. What I found out was my immediate thought process was, there are worse ways to go. I could have died shitting on a toilet. And I have a theory about why these mental things keep happening to me, and it's my genetics. Because my mum's from Paisley, and my dad's from Greenock. Now, for those unaware of what these 2 cities are, right, Paisley is essentially beside Glasgow, and they used to have the highest murder rate in all of Europe. When they were told this, they celebrated. And when they dropped to 5th, you did not want to be in that fucking city. They were out on the streets murdering for their pride. And to describe Greenock, you have to go 20 years back into Scotland's past to describe Greenock. You can still buy heroin and fish and chips in the same street. They're a good deal nonetheless. And kind of from these 2 mentalities of mental places, my parents raised me the idea that you need to laugh at the world and yourself. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. I've done plenty of both. And an aspect of that is when I went to teach in America over the summer, and I realised something about myself. I had the ability to be a great teacher. I just hate kids. They vomit, they shit, they scream, and they piss everywhere. Who the fuck wants that in their life? If I wanted that, I'd have a child, and I even still don't want that. And so, in that kind of aspect, recently I was on the bus, and I was coming up to the uni, and people were getting on, and this person, I couldn't make out who they were, started staring at me really intensely in the eyes. And I looked at them, went, "Sup?" and then kept looking forward. And they walked by me, and I just stopped for 10 seconds. Who the fuck was that? Because I recognised them. And then it hit me like a freight train. It was my ex. And there was no, you can't even escape, you can't turn around, you just got to sit there and just cringe. And I just wanted, I would rather have been dying shitting myself in a toilet than be in that situation again. That's me. Thank you very much.